So room and session codes are the sort of thing that get set up when the service starts or when you join Smart Central, and typically only get changed when your fee structures change, which might be annually. So both session codes and room codes are accessed from the main service screen. We'll go into rooms first, since that's quite straightforward. As with everything in Smart Central, light blue is a clickable link. That takes us to the list of rooms. We can see the room names, their capacity, which is important for vacancy calculations, and whether that room is active or not. And you can see here the Sunny room has a capacity of 10, but no active bookings. So we have the option to delete that room if we don't need it. If there are bookings, then the delete option is gone. Now, if I need to edit the room for any reason, so let's go into Newts here, clicking on the name, update the capacity, change the color of the room on the roll, maybe a bluer shade of blue, and as always, save. So that's it for rooms. Editing session codes follows a very similar process. Now there are a few more options associated with the session code, so we'll take those through in turn. But the basic process is the same. We have a list of session codes. We can click on the code to edit it, and we click on the Add New button to create a new one. So let's go into our AM code. I want to call this something a bit more meaningful. Or maybe, depending on your service, maybe it might be BSC or whatever name you want to give it. Change my fee. Always remembering that any changes to the session fees take effect immediately. So it doesn't affect today's roll, but it will affect tomorrow's roll. Now, if you sat through the webinar on the parent portal and online enrolments, you'd know that the public field here sends this fee code to the online booking process. So you can have hidden fee codes, so you might have a separate fee code for staff, and you're obviously not going to make that available to parents. You don't tick public. So that's our session codes. So session codes reflect our fees. Room codes reflect how we group the children together. So bookings are primarily accessed through the enrolment. So I've popped over here onto the enrolment screen, and in the second last column you can see the number of bookings, active bookings against the enrolment. If it's in yellow, there are no active bookings. Grey indicates that there are some active bookings, and you can click on the number to go through to those bookings. Something to notice here is that, as with most of these columns, by clicking on the heading, you can change the sort. So it's a handy way to find out which children don't currently have bookings. Now, all of mine are exited except for this one, which is a recent addition. So I can spot that, and we're going to go and add a booking to Tegan. So I've clicked through, I've come to the bookings tab under this enrolment, and I want to add a new booking. So step one, session code. So let's put Tegan onto the full-time rate. She will be in the Sunny room, and her booking commences not until the middle of February. If I had an end date, I could set that immediately. So this is a standard weekly booking. Tegan's going to be attending the same days every week. And those days are Thursday and Friday, or perhaps Wednesday as well. Now you can see down the next section here, the start and end times become editable once I've selected the day. So unselect, select, start and end times become editable. So we'll come back to this in a few minutes time, but this is where we come if we want to have variable start and end times for a session. Now when we create a booking, we can override the default session type. So it will be normally hours. It's a standard CCS billable hour. But we can also put bookings in the system for absence or cessation of care. The cessation of care one is particularly important because of the way CCS calculations now work. If a child is absent in the days immediately preceding the end of their enrolment, or the last days of their enrolment, then CCS will, once they work out that the enrolment has ended, they will claw back any CCS payments that may have been made. The problem with that, of course, is that by that stage the parent may have left, and you're then left with a debt because of the CCS has been called back, and you haven't billed the parent for that amount. So the way around that is to declare those days as cessation of care right from the start, and then CCS won't be paid on it, and then they won't be clawed back, and you won't be out of pocket. So the last indicator here in the booking is the preschool indicator. So if the child is of preschool age, so the year before they go to school, and they're attending a recognised preschool session, then indicate that they are doing that as part of the booking, and it will be passed through into the rest of the attendances. So we just click Save, and we've created a very simple standard weekly booking starting on the 11th of February, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every week in our session code called Full Time in the Sunny Room, starting at 7 and ending at 6 for a fee of $100. So that's a basic weekly booking.